What's up, y'all, man? It's your boy Jamel back again, man. Just wanted to talk, man. I just had to talk about this, man. I really haven't been in the mood. I don't know if it's the weather or whatever. I really haven't been in the mood to make content, but here I am. I just want to talk about this, man. Is Joe Rogan compromised? Is Joe Rogan compromised? Joe Rogan. Because I just want to talk about this because I watched his podcast for a long time. I've been watching his podcast for at least 6, 7, literally not even trying to make the joke or whatever. 6, 7, 8 years. I want to say, let me see, bro. I've been watching this podcast for at least since like 2015, 16. I used to watch like full episodes, full clips, full episodes, whatever. And like, it just has changed, bro. It's so hidden in plain sight. Joe Rogan, first of all, he's not funny. Like, like, how to break this down? He's not funny. His Rogan sphere, you know, the Rogan sphere, however you say it, Rogan sphere. It's hard to say. The Rogan sphere, you know, like atmosphere, but like Ari, Bert Kreischer, Shane Gillis. You know, I think Shane Gillis is obviously the funniest guy that came up out of the Rogan sphere. He got this mothership, you know, and we got Kill Tony, you know what I'm saying? And we got Tony, obviously. Okay, but besides the point, besides all that, besides the Rogan sphere, you know, it's like his podcast is just like now the most hidden in plain sight. It's like a democracy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, like, cause I don't want to say Joe Rogan is compromised, but I want to say he's compromised. Cause he's like, between Too Lazy to Try and Podcast Cringe, I have watched like every video on Joe Rogan. He is bullshitting himself, trying to bullshit other people, and like they sit there and smell his farts and fucking laugh at him. And like Joe Rogan even said himself, he know people be coming on his podcast and spread propaganda and bullshit, and people know that. And you can see that Kash Patel was bullshitting about the fucking Epstein files. You know what I'm saying? The president just say forget about it or whatever. But obviously people are not just gonna forget about it because it's one of the most biggest cover-ups in U.S. history. But and Kash Patel just came on there saying straight nonsense. Obviously people has confronted Joe about that. I've seen people tell Joe, like, come on now. And like, so Joe knows that people be coming on his podcast and saying bullshit. And I seen I'm a Minnesota native. I just seen somebody just came. I think he's with Whitney Cummings. He's literally with Whitney Cummings already discussing the lady that got shot in her face or whatever. The lady that just got killed down here. Dude, why is this podcast so political? You know what I'm saying? I mean, cool. Even like people been saying like they're comedians, their podcast shouldn't be political. But even if you weren't a comedy podcast, you know what I'm saying? Why does your podcast have to be political? And even if you have political people on there, your podcast doesn't have to be political. Literally, you can have political figures and political icons or whatever on podcasts and not make the podcast political. I feel like, you know, I don't know, cause like it's like having Donald Trump in your podcast, but it's all gonna be an agenda because Andrew Schultz talking about that he's the reason that Donald Trump got into office, you know? So, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of influence with podcasts, obviously. So, I don't know. It's all just weird. It's the most hidden in plain sight thing. Because all these scientists Joe Rogan has on, it's so boring. And all these people that are so-called philosophers, and they just get on there and talk about BS. You know what I'm saying? It goes from talking about farts to talking about neuroscience, or talking about like Andrew Huberman information, to talking about aliens farting or something, like something stupid. I don't know. And I don't know if that's the beauty of a podcast, but it's just like he like I don't know. I don't know if Joe Rogan takes himself too serious. Like I don't even know that. Like, cause like I guess you got to switch it on and switch it off. But he's supposed to be a so-called comedian, and he's definitely not funny. So like, people just gotta like yes man to him. And I'm sure he sees the criticism. So like obviously that level of fame and that level of money is gonna come with criticism. And in my opinion, he's just in too deep with all these. He's hanging out with all these billionaires. He's hanging out with Peter too, and he says he don't get no weird vibes off him. I think he said that, dude. Peter too is literally doing lectures on the Antichrist. Like what? Like correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. If I'm just blabbering, saying nothing, please let me know. But it's just weird, bro. I don't know. This whole atmosphere, this whole Rogan sphere is weird, but people are calling him out, and you know, and I think Joe Rogan is just he's like super aware. He's like super aware. He's super aware, but he's unaware at the same time. He's doing the most intentional shit ever. Like, you know, cause I don't know, like I really don't know if he like knows, like you know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know, he probably don't give a fuck about anybody talking about him, but I don't know. I just feel like he definitely on some bullshit, and the whole platform has did a 360. You know, I used to really go to Joe Rogan like to get information and get like motivation. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but really like try to like get out of my depression listening to Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know, fucking trying to get motivation, go work out or some shit. I don't know, but it's so philosophically, intellectually bankrupt now. You know what I'm saying? It's so fake, you know? And Joe Rogan is so fake too. Like, and like Shane Gillis be cracking jokes that he don't get. Like when he was like, I'll just go do Rogan. Like I'll just do this and go do Rogan next week. And Joe Rogan's like, what? Like he didn't get the joke. Like, and it's obviously a joke. Like who? Like you gotta have it. Like come on, man. You gotta be more smart than that, Joe. If you claim you're so smart, you obviously could take social cues and obviously decipher if something is a joke or not. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't want to keep saying the same thing and saying like at the same, and like, you know, keep saying the same words, but it's just like, bro, he's having all these politicians on, these, you know, and all these pseudo scientists, bro. Like I just don't understand where this. Like, and I've been like watching videos. Like I've used to watch Joe Rogan, and I stopped watching Joe Rogan, and people breaking down his podcast, and yeah, clips calling him out. I'm gonna put some clips in this video of people calling him out. You know what I'm saying? Probably at the end of this video, or I'm gonna let clips roll and in between the commentary. But it's just very odd and bizarre. Like from the Epstein files, from Cash Patel, from him talking about Epstein files, from him talking about political correct stuff, him being so like he's so PC, but he's obviously not, because he has it's so odd because he has FU money, and obviously he has turned into everything he used to talk about, because he used to talk about people hanging around billionaires. And it's funny how, you know, you would bring up like how podcast people would bring up people, and then they actually go have a podcast with them. Like they kind of talk shit, and then, you know, because like Shane Gillis kind of did it before he hung out with Rogan. He was talking about he's gonna pants Rogan. You know, he was just talking shit, but like I don't know, bro. It's just like they be talking shit about people, then they go have a podcast. Like, and it's obviously like they do a lot of shit for just the gist of what I'm saying is they just do a lot of shit for clicks and views. No morals and no ethics, you know, because they're like, it'd be good for me and it'd be good for them. Like there is no like all money is good money. There is no none of that shit, you know. All money ain't good money. There is no none of that shit with them. They just do whatever. But I'm pretty sure there is people that Joe Rogan has denied to happen in this podcast because they've dissed him and they called him out on his bullshit. Like, you literally gotta smell his farts, you know what I'm saying? And the shit he be doing with Elon Musk, shit he does with Peter Thiel. Like, you gotta put on this whole fake persona and shit. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know, dude. This whole fucking shit is weird as hell, but yeah, man, y'all have a good day. I just wanted to come tap in. Yeah. So hopefully I get consistent and start uploading. See y'all. Have a good day.